Question everything, for the truth should not be televised. And that's for sure. So with that, yeah, so, you know, we didn't heard all about the Cincinnati Brawl. That been marketed in many different ways, even though the actual ones who's being accused of it are the victims of it because they didn't start it. But here in America, as Aboriginal Niggros of America, the true American INs, we don't have no right for protection. We can't defend ourselves. Everybody else can. But when we defend ourselves, the law all of a sudden go blind and can't see justice for us. And it makes sense, because at the end of the day, this been going on ever since the colonizers got here. It's their system. It's set up that way. This is why the federal census of ethnic hate crime state, we can't get a bill passed for protection against hate crime, even though we the first to be hated in the country and the first to have to deal with real raw racism in this country and prejudice. It was built off of us, not liking us, and we can't get a bill passed to protect ourselves from it yet. Almost 600 years in the game, right, of dealing with the colonizers. Go figure. So when you look at the Cincinnati Brawl, it's the same thing. We get to do what we want to you, but you, how dare you try to retaliate? Thus, no reparations. Notice how we didn't get that yet. But we owe for crimes against humanity, justice. Well, there's an incident out in Pulaski, Wisconsin. Y'all probably ain't hear about it because they ain't saying nothing about it. About the 14-year-old Aboriginal Negro brother who was banged on by a mob of colonizers, teenagers. It didn't make social media, mainstream media, or your local talk show, huh? But this is the game they play. When it's a whole bunch of them jumping on our young 14-year-old brother out there in Pulaski, Wisconsin, there's no media coverage on it. They keep that hush-hush. There's no pictures being blown up about the individual thugs that was jumping on racist thugs at that, because they was calling them all sorts of ends and slurs and so on, and was trying to take his sneakers off, you name it, allegedly, right? Got to put it out there that way, because you know how they get down. You know, you can't bring real truth to the colonizers because they can't reflect, so they don't know how to deal with that. They start benign neglect and stuff like that. So, you know, at the end of the day, we got to use their ledge. But yeah, this happened about what? Maybe the 16th, August 16th, August 19th, a couple of weeks ago. But you ain't hear nothing about this brawl out there at the barnyard party. Nobody's talking about how this brother got infringed upon, how the young brother was barely with his life, surviving the best he can, with a whole bunch of colonizers trying to turn him into a rug mat. But see, no conversation on that. The media is totally gone. CNN, NBC, you name it. Where all these people at? Why they ain't talking about when they people is mob deeping on a one young 14-year-old Aboriginal brother? Oh, because that's not the narrative they like to push. Their crimes. They don't like to be penalized or punished for their crimes. They don't like to be prosecuted or pointed out about their crimes. So they'll keep their crimes under the rug, keep their crimes in the media blackout, keep their crimes on paper in the communities that is happening at, so that way you and I and the rest of the country and the rest of the world don't see that they're still committing the same heinous crimes they always been committing, 100%, way more than us, but they just don't market it. This is that reality. So yeah, Pulaski, Wisconsin, check it out. Check out the brawl and how they did our brother out there, and then turn around and then act like what happened in Cincinnati, downtown Cincinnati, was any different from what happened with the Pulaski, Wisconsin brawl. It's the same thing. Same exact thing. But in both of those cases, the colonizers started both of them. Yeah, exactly. They started both of them. And in turn, we don't get justice, and they get to walk. Why? Because the police look like them, the prosecutor look like them, the judge look like them, the system is set up by them, you name it. So they get to police their own and get the pat on the back and, oh, you just made a mistake. We can't mess him up and ruin his life by putting him in jail or putting their faces out there for the crime that they committed on jumping on that individual. We can't do that. No. We got to help him. Yeah, exactly. Because it'd be the total opposite when it comes to our people. We got to lock them up by all means necessary. We got to go and do the history of what his mother used to be about growing up, his father, his cousin, his brother, his nephew, niece, you name it, anything we can find. The last time he slipped and fell on somebody, you name it. They got to bring up any and every little thing that they can possibly imagine to find on you, to dirty you up, to make you look bad. Because that's what their system do. That's what their system is for. That's what their media and all their output is about. Demonizing our people. This is that reality that we're dealing with still to this day. So heart go out to the young man, because from what his mother's saying, he's all messed up right now. And he got every right to be. When you got a mob of colonizers who's known for lynching our people, who's known for having a history of Holocaust in our people, who's known for having a history of genocide in our people, who's known for coming to the police departments with the KKK and just walking our people right out and lynching our people the way they choose to, who's known for doing all these things with a unbroken track record of getting away with this stuff. I can imagine that young brother, 14 years old, being all messed up. Because at the end of the day, he just lived a